Hi guys, today we are going to cover a little, I wouldn't call it lore, but I'd call it something interesting. Possible lore, but okay. So as you know, this is the settlement of your first neighborhood. I can't remember the name of it. Let me just, Sanctuary. Had a brain fart for a minute there. So, we lived here for most of our lives, so this Lone Wanderer kind of ends back up here, kind of ends up fitting, so we kind of get to go and, explore our neighbors' houses and see what they were up to. Well, this house was a little different than most. As you can see when we get here, we find a tension trigger. I mean, what can be worth so much they'd be willing to, risk somebody's life if they got into it? So, of course, we're going to disarm the tension trigger, disarm that. And so, I mean, why aren't we going to check this out?
Yes.
So, of course, we find quite a little bit of pre-war money, silver tablespoon. But, of course, we're going to take it because it is pretty good loot. Which kind of is weird, finding all this stuff in just some guy's house. So, of course, we go here and...
Sweet.
Okay, so after we get into the very difficult terminal, we find ledgers, I guess. I mean, we just kind of find... So, of course, we see the Robco Industries, TM, which term links, and then we find we're in the business of happiness, which definitely could mean he was dealing in Kilns, so we find some names. Well, this kind of helps us know what he was in the business and why he had so much cash on him. Read this telling about this guy, let's see. D. Petrail. I don't know how to quite to say that, but totally high strung and needs to relax. I keep him telling him that, offering him to help. But so far, no dice. By the looks of it, he's self-medicating with pie. So, this one looks like a possible customer, but definitely looking like we might be at the drug dealer's house. My favorite tinfoil hat wearing nut job. Good for 7 ampoules of day tripper a week. Guess he's a one a day kind of guy. Whatever helps a man groove. So, yep, he's a drug dealer. And we also find something a little interesting. Turns out that one of the, neighbors was apparently a tinfoil hat wearing nut job by this guy's description. Definitely did not see any tinfoil hats when we were leaving Sanctuary. So, we know Baker and D. Petretto. We're going to call him that. And then we find Rosa. Still trying to get her some buff out. Didn't expect the rationing to affect this. But it is what it is. So, apparently, we know that buff out and day tripper were either illegal or were very hard to find by legal means back at that point in time. He wants something called Psycho. I'm not sure the stuff even exists, and if it does, do I really want this Neanderthal using it? Guess it depends on how much he's willing to spend. I'll put some feelers out to my army connection, see what he's got. But, okay. So this is actually, so we find that Jahani wants something called Psycho. And Psycho is actually built for the military to be able to up soldiers' damage output on the field. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? So this kind of puzzles me because I'm pretty sure that Psycho was kind of an under-the-table thing. So I assume this guy has an army contact, or at least he says he does, and this is a personal terminal, so I don't figure he'd be lying. But this makes me think that this guy had to have some connection to the military to know that Psycho is around at this time. So this guy might even be a guy who's trying to bust this drug dealer to find and, see if this guy can bust a military contact. Then we find Russell. They still owe me for that last Exo delivery occurred to me. Was it even for them? Because if so, help me God. If I find out they're juicing up those dogs, we're going to have words about more than money. But we're probably beyond words anyway. I know that they have a floor safe in there. I've seen it. Master bedroom under the dresser. Can't be that tough to crack. So we do find a location of another safe, because there are several hidden around, but that kind of hides that. But we're going to come back to Russell. We're not going to discuss him yet. So we find Concord, we found O'Keefe, Williams, and Anders. So I guess he had some business who lived in Concord. So we're going to check out O'Keefe first. Still good for a couple hits of Daddy-O a week. Pretentious pseudo intellectual, but his money is good. Yeah, we're not going to say that. That's kind of not what this channel's going for, but so we figure out this guy's some Daddy-O. Wants Med-X as much as I can get. Hasn't told me why. Not really my business. Guessing there's some sort of long-term pain management going on. Disease? So this kind of shows that the guy's not, he might be a little nosy. Kind of trying to figure out why he's giving these people. So Med-X, kind of like a morphine of this area, of this game world. So guess Williams might have possibly had some injury or something that was still giving him trouble, but he couldn't get pain medication. So let's see, Anders. Kids are usually a no-go, but this girl's got style, and she's not interested in getting tweaked. Ordered 20 blood packs, some Halloween stunt or something. Or maybe she's just really a vampire. What do I care? She's got her daddy's money. So, we learn out that this girl is probably a troublemaker, somebody who's, always playing little tricks and things and doing. So, definitely is interesting. We figure out the blood packs, which kind of surprised me. I mean, I guess, most people don't really need blood packs, but I'm surprised he can get a hold of them. So, this guy definitely probably had some pretty good. So now we're going to go to Boston, which surprisingly has 4 with. Guess he kind of was more of a local guy. Let's see. Some CIT. Some student CIT wants Day Tripper XL and an entire pallet. Yes, a pallet of Mentats. Not sure if he's doing some crazy experiments, dealing to the other eggheads, or on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Don't care so long as the money's good. So, yeah, this definitely shows that he kind of is almost like profiling the people on what they buy of his chem. So, this kid was a student at CIT, which I think is very similar to the MIT of our world. So, Day Tripper, which ups a lot of stats, but a pallet of Mentats is definitely quite a few Mentats, because, I mean, the Mentats aren't very big, so I figure you could put quite a few on a pallet. So, this kid I very much hope that Isaacs was dealing, not taking, because if so, he probably had a very bad chem addiction by the end of it. Now we're going to check out Ward. So I guess that was a last name. Young married couple, good for a couple Day Tripper per week. Easy order. Cool people. No brainer. So this kind of just shows, young married couple apparently. Not much about them. McDermott. This is actually pretty interesting to me. Cop, long-time Buff-Out customer, running into supply problems. We've had a good thing going for years. I'd hate to end it now, and I don't exactly want him to risk him getting all noble and law-abiding if he can't get what he wants. That would end very badly for me. So, we learned he was dealing with a cop. Buff-Out, so I got to thinking about it. This was obviously a big risk for the guy, because, cop or thing of that nature, but definitely, I mean, the guy could be trying to keep himself in shape, but it definitely is interesting that they have cops asking for Buff-Out. Let's check out Sapolsky. The old lady has upped her Daddy-O order. Weird, but profitable. I mean, not much here. Now we got some miscellaneous. So we've got Malcolm. Let's see. Potential new customer in Charleston. Wants Med-X. Seems oddly desperate. Might be a cop trying too hard. Need to move slowly. So this guy shows he is pretty smart. He can recognize that certain things are off. And I assume that Med-X is illegal. Or selling it the way he is illegal. Definitely would make sense. So let's see. Now let's check out Dunchise. See, underwear model from Braintree. Beautiful, intelligent, totally weird. All she ever wanted is Stimpaks. 10 plus per week. My imagination continues to run wild. So, yeah, he definitely, profiles people over their orders. Well, doesn't tell us a lot. I don't know. Definitely interesting that Stimpaks that he's selling. I assume they might have just not been an over-the-counter thing, or over-the-counter would have cost him more. So, we've done check to save, check this. So, we're going to run out back and check out his little. So I assume he was probably just cooking his chems here, because, yep, fertilizer, which is definitely, a large part of the jet making process. He's got, just to prove it, I can make Mentats and jet. Oh, darn, I can make. And so, he can do several things. You can make several chems and things of that nature, which are useful in our world, but we're most likely, regulated in theirs, and some of them were most likely illegal, or at least I kind of hope they were. So now we're going to go back and study one of those names that was on the Sanctuary Hills list. Russell. So Excel is a very rare chem. And, we do learn about their health safe. We don't learn about a lot else, but we do learn that it was Excel. And I assume there was most likely a couple doing it, because he says they. And Russell sounds like a man's name. So, it may have been a last name, but I assume it was a male's name. But I got to exploring in Concord, and I might have found the fate of poor Russell. And so we get here, and we go through the very familiar area, because it's pretty common, very easy to come to first area place. We pass where we killed the first Deathclaw, and pass a few of the raiders that we killed. And well, there's not many places you can go in. And here is one of the few that you can. Of course, there is the Museum of Freedom. And so we enter and we see, kind of a speakeasy style of, just men sitting around drinking their beer. And you see the, suitcases piled up. And you also see a ladder in the corner, so I assume, these posters might have had something on them. Find, a few fans. We found a safe, but I can unlock it now that I have a
Sweet.
bobby pin, and so find some duct tape, nothing just super, but we find some half-decent loot. We find some plastic bowls, a camera, nothing you really wouldn't expect out of a beer joint. Well, as you'll notice when we walked in, there's a little stairs up, so I figure this might have been kind of a, area. And I did come here and the doors are unlocked, and you actually do find this one with an advanced lock door, which leads to a steamer trunk. And interestingly, a soldier who usually would have a pistol, but I took the pistol in my game because I came here earlier to scout out for y'all. So unfortunately the pistol's not here, but I definitely do find it interesting that we found this military soldier here. So maybe on the day of the blast he came out here to kind of bunker down, because he might have been away from his base on leave or something of that nature, visiting family or just out to have a good time. And we come to another room where we find a balcony and some little stuff, but this isn't really what I want to show y'all. I'm just kind of giving y'all the little roundabout tour. We find a skeleton of most likely a man laid by a mannequin, female mannequin, and we do find this little creepy thing. I had to destroy it. We find a skeleton and 3 mannequins set around it, all weaponized with machetes. So nothing really out of the ordinary. Well, a lot of you might wonder, well, why do I think this is that guy? Why do I think it's Russell, Mr. Russell? Well, I find an Excel. We do find a comfy pillow, and you do find a combat knife, and some blood on the ground. But I've never really been anywhere high enough to find any Excel, but I did find 2 Excel. I actually found one here earlier when I scouted, but I left the other to kind of leave a marker. Because I do scout here some. We do see some blood on the ground that unfortunately could have been him. He possibly could have killed himself in his last instead of facing the nuclear apocalypse. But we do find the 2 Excel. So, it's not a lot to go on, but it is a rare chem, and we do have talks about people ordering Excel. So, who knows? We might have found the fate of Russell. I just definitely found that it's interesting that we might have actually found one of his customers. And quickly before I go, we're going to run down here and check. And you find a little area, old refrigerators and things. Most likely probably had beer bottles. Maybe they grilled down here. Probably a little workshop area. Nothing much, but it is an interesting little area. And I do definitely find it interesting that they added some information about, people that the sole survivor would probably be very interested to know. I mean, he's lived by these people, and from dialogue, I don't think that he ever knew that there were, a drug dealer living right down the street from him. So, we also do find a man holding a cigar. You can't knock it out. Figured, bad habit, man. Bad habit. Bad. But anyway, that was my video for today. We're going to end it off right here. And that was just kind of my whole point. I mean, we might have found Mr. Russell and met his untimely demise. I assume probably close to the Great War, with him being just a pure skeleton now. So, definitely interesting. So we're just going to, set him up, make him a little comfier. Just, you've been here a long time. You just really deserve a good pillow. That should make him a little comfier. So, that's where I'm going to leave off today. I hope y'all guys enjoyed, and leave a like, leave subscription, subscribe if y'all like my content. And if y'all want me to cover something, just tell me. I'll do the research. I'll get out there and I'll do. And some of these things I definitely might add on to in the future. So don't be surprised if you see a part 2 to this video, or a part 2 to any of my videos, because I'm still learning lore, and I'm still learning it. I mean, there's so much this game has to teach you about its own storylines and things that you may see add-ons to these videos. So anyway, I'm going to stop blabbering and let y'all go. So hope y'all enjoy. Please like, please subscribe.